I'm lost now. I'm lost now. Paralyzed.
Yay. Yay.
But I can't lose this war, get a pride of a falling night.
Hello, folks. Good evening. Hope you're having a good one this far. Hold on. Let's get to sort out some things. All right. Yes, we are going to be. Why does that field of view feel so weird? Probably isn't. We're going to be continuing from where we were yesterday, which basically means, well, we're not actually, because I've been working on it today, but we're going to continue the same thing. So here's the current state. Let's zoom in on what all these colors mean. So basically everything is now past VO edit done. The intro and outro has only the VO edit, but everything else is in some sort of state of, edit completion. Most of it is fairly complete. There's still a bunch of these that I've had to re-record because stuff has changed during the snapshot series, and there are a couple of them left. This one is the most fun, where I showcase the fact that Code of Conduct can be multiple languages by showing it in lolcat. But now the actual UI strings have been translated into lolcat, so the clip is out of date. I need to re-record that. Which I don't necessarily think I actually need. There's no automation around that, so I think I'll just be able to record that. So yeah. And then 35A is the thing we need. So we're gonna go here. I'm controlling all of this stuff through the Discord server. So we're gonna do snapshots, restore 25W35A, right? Yes. And that should restore that onto that server. We'll be able to do that, and then the second thing is gonna be start a new server, which usually is what we use for kind of comparison shots when we do snapshots. But in this case, there we go. In this case, all I want is, hold on. Oh, mannequins, that's fine. Language. Wish this had a search. So is it lolcat? Yeah, okay, it's just Kingdom of Cats, sure. It's so stupid. Okay, I'm gonna just record this. Code of Conduct. And that should be good enough. I might go now. Connection blew up. Okay. Well, it's a special language, and I need to do that again because I did it on the stupid. I have the stream views on it, obviously, which I shouldn't. Done. Okay. Well, see you in a second. I'm going to switch to the view where I don't have music and overlays and my voice and stuff. Okay, there's some form of competition on how many times I can mess stuff up. I think I got it that time. And now this should be on the world from 35A. Means we can re-record a bunch of stuff. The chunk loading thing, it was my mod. That's the mod we use for these videos. And then this one, I'm doing the same thing again. Stupid. At least, the automation in this mod makes it quick to redo when I mess it up. Spine is absolutely part of the mod. That's how it started. So, oh boy. Yeah, this command locks enabled. And then, is there no... This is actually typing Q, E, enter, right button. I would have expected this. So I need to re-record this because this clip was recorded before the game rule was renamed. Nice. Yeah. All right. So, ooh, and I also forgot to. Wow. Okay. No, oh, that was a test run. I just wanted to know that it worked. Also, I'm recording to the wrong folder, but we'll deal with that in a sec. Okay, there we go. You know what? The simplest thing is just to re-record this previous one also. Yeah, I mean, having the mod does automatically trigger a scene switch. It's not the worst idea. So OBS is currently both streaming and recording the clips, yeah. Alright, so also the code of conduct thing I will need to find because I recorded that just manually. Still need to go and dig that up. Recording things without the mod. What is this primitive? What? Okay. Yeah, there it is. I have no idea what that clip's supposed to be called. I guess we can find that out. That would be in the multiplayer section. Multiplayer code of Oh, I just didn't really name it something reasonable. Okay, whatever then. Oopsie daisy. Meant to move the file, not move the clip. And then it is this thing. Replace with Windows, please. Stop changing my folder settings. Okay. Okay.
Yay.
I would guess you're recording a scene without no Minecraft. Well, I mean, normally I don't stream and record with recording a different thing. What, Vegas version? 22, yeah. Also, thank you everybody for the follows. Appreciate that. Welcome in, everybody. That should be the...
Yay.
Oh yeah, and also this title, server cod of conduit, and no telling kitties cod of conduit again. Those are the strings that have been translated into lolcat, and the reason I had to recapture that. Thank you, Sweetie Gamer, for the follow as well, and thank you. Is that Macadinhos? I have no idea. It kind of sounds Brazilian, or I guess Portuguese, if I would guess. What does this button do? Well, you found out. Thank you so much for that Prime sub. Appreciate that. I get so many people who come in here and going like, I'm in Brazil. So for some reason I like first connected Portuguese to Brazil rather than Portugal. Alright, so that should mean the multiplayer section is done. We're gonna render that. Surprised that worked because I have the main file open, but I guess that's fine. %90 of Portuguese speakers are Brazilians. I mean, it makes sense. Brazil be large like that. Alright, so that means we can now go back here and mark multiplayer as done. One more. And so I've done a bunch of this and this. And also I can mark these as done. The two I just marked are these two B-rolls. We need two new title cards. These are sections. We've never had those as section titles before. All right, I need to fake a new main menu. Let's go do that then. And the way we do that, so if you see here, this says 121.9 pre-release 2 snapshot. But of course, the mod that does everything for us, we've coded in a mode that where you can configure it to show a different thing. What is that called? Version override 1.21.9. Do I need to restart for that too? Maybe I just force a new title screen. Okay, the half worked. I guess I'll restart. I would definitely consider Mirror to be better than Mural. Fun fact is we migrated from Mirror to Mural because we were forced. They're much more on par now than they were. Commands on the title screen is also because of the mod. So that didn't work. It removed /snapshot properly, but it didn't work other than that. So that is interesting. My guess is then that this functionality in the mod is just broken from last time we used it. I think it is supposed to be triggered just by that version override, I think. We guess we look at code then. I will switch to it, but I don't know how much this is going to be readable on stream. But at least it's better than just looking at the Minecraft menu while I'm doing this. There's a version. No, there's a title screen mix in. No, that wouldn't be it. That's all that.
Yay.
Something version. Version override. Okay. World version simple mix. Pretty readable, maybe not on phone. World version name. But why is it world version? That makes no sense. World version dot simple. I mean, I guess. I have no idea how this used to be. Okay. But it's on the title screen. So if we check the title screen, get current version returns a world version. Okay. Well, but it's not necessarily a world version dot simple. Oh, that's the only implementation. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Okay, I am confused. This appears to say Minecraft plus name. And this is... Oh, did I... Is this whole thing overridden? Where are we? Render. Render panorama is overridden. Some stuff, but okay, no. I'm confused. Oh, this is weird. At head, cancelable, but it doesn't cancel. Yeah, okay, this is clearly wrong. Set return will cancels already? It does. Okay, so that wasn't it. Damn it. Never mind. This is fine. I don't understand why it's not working, but this fine. is a bootstrap thing. Should be set. Is that an old IntelliJ version, or are you just using the old skin? I haven't seen that layout in a long time. This is, I think, I can't remember. Yeah, this is an older version. It might be old enough that it still has the toggle for the old UI, or it might be that I installed the plugin for the old UI. I've been trying to get used to the new thing, but it's just like objectively worst. IntelliJ stopped letting you go back to the old UI some versions ago. They now ship it as a standalone like plugin that you have to install. So the thing is, here's my reaction to the new UI of IntelliJ. What it does is collapse. Well, it's not even this, right? Some of this is just weirdly over here now. But you have like toolbars, you have the menus and stuff, all accessible. Which me as a power user, I often use options here. And a lot of modern like UX design is, oh, we should cater to the most used things, and we should, slim down and make it easy to find the most used things, which is great if your target is computer illiterate. But this is a coding IDE. Stop hiding shit I need. Anyway. Create title. So that's what's... Hold on. This is what's creating the title. This version override getter is set. Does it return anything? No. Okay, so we have a version override getter, but it returns nothing. That's the problem. Like, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the fact that it by default hides stuff, I wouldn't mind at all. I don't think I have anything else to complain about, but it's just you've added clicks. I'm trying to be as efficient as possible, and your one job is to make me more efficient at programming. And you've added clicks for me to do common operations. Okay, so version override getter is set somewhere to something here. So it's like version override in Ooh, hold on. In config change. It's not final. So probably... we're looking at an old config here would be my guess. A bunch of this stuff has changed recently, so I'm not super surprised. I can't remember why, but there was some class loading shenanigans. Yeah, that fixes it. Okay. We will go back here for a little second while I mess around with this stuff to get a version done. The next game drop, 1.21.10. I don't believe there's anything announced about that yet. Is it just a title bar hiding behind the hamburger menu that you dislike? Well, it's not just that. It's that 40 times every day. Which is not just. I don't even know, because that annoys me to the point where I don't like, I can't even think about what the other changes are. So probably it's mostly that. So maybe targeting mobile, which is useless for an IDE. Yeah, I mean, so the problem, my belief is that a lot of like UX design is focused around mobile and stuff, which is fine. The setting to always show the title bar. I should go dig that up, I guess. But yeah, my problem is the same with the newer versions of Windows, right? It's like they're designed by people who do not care about power users. Or do not understand the power users, at least. Which is completely the opposite of what needs to happen. Hello and welcome to slicedlime's opinionated rants stream, apparently. I need to quit that so we can get a new version in. Here. Just uninstall Windows. That would be easier if I didn't fully 100% rely on some software that only runs on Windows. But yes, if I ever stop making videos, that's probably happening quite quickly afterwards. Big Linux. No, but I mean, you know, very soon it becomes, you know, the year of Linux on the desktop, and everything is going to change. Any year now. Alright, so that still didn't work for some reason. What? Oh, because I messed up. That's unsurprising. Replace that. Okay, that didn't work. That. I mean, the thing with Linux is, like, as much as modern Windows versions don't cater to power users, Linux caters to nobody else than the most power users. And then over time, this is like shrunk to additional power users. But the amount of, you know, messing about required to get something like audio drivers to work on Linux is significant. Alright, now the faking works, so now we have 1.21 at 9 here. That was all that we needed. That took a while, but fine. Which means we will record. And I guess, do I have a title? I don't have it, like just a title recording. Maybe I'll make that. Just record 15-second title. Should be fine. So I'll be away for a second here. All right, that's it. And then timelines, config, version override, the reset. No, that's called Minecraft reset. Remove. Minecraft remove. It's blank. No. Some command to reset this thing. God damn. None. How do you run commands on the title screen? By having a mod. Alright. So I've done everything there, I think. We're going to join cards. Cards is our server. Initially, we used it to just make title cards, but now it's kind of developed into the server will used for just everything that needs to be patched up. I did already, Epic. I deleted the old message and reposted. It's client only. Okay, well, so what does that mean? Where did that go? That goes in the UI thing somewhere, I would presume. Somewhere in this video, there's a, hey, there's a new title background now. Look at that. I presume that is in the UI. Hi, Retro. This wouldn't be the first time in the channel for design-related rants on Sunday. That is true. There was at one point a whole series. You can stop, Epic. You're not on camera. Menu title. There we go. Alright, so that's done. Now the question is, was there anything else I needed to do with this? I don't think so. I think that was the last thing. So I will render that. Which is probably going to lag the stream again, but we'll just have to live with that. How to ruin a game with one design decision. Favorite title segment you've used out of all the title cards? We need weekly slicedlime modern UI design rants. The videos where I make myself an enemy out of everybody. Yeah, the mobs one that where a goat rams a creeper out over the mob's text that is a good one. That's a really good candidate. The options one is really cool, where I've edited in like an in-game representation of the menu with the options title. Skeleton arrow. It's not my favorite actually, just mostly because it's a slow motion shot of an arrow, and it kind of showcases just how janky all the projectile stuff is. It's cool, but it's not ram a creeper off the mountaintop cool. Dialogues, because I put way too much work in that one. There are some of the really cool ones are just like we put a ton of work into something and then we used it like twice. Like I think the enchantment effect one's really cool also, where there's like a custom enchantment that puts levitation on mobs that get hit by a trident or something. And it's only ever been used for that title card. The stability one is enjoyable in its simplicity. Alright, so the UI one should now be done. What do we have left in options? Oh yeah, the number providers one, that's really cool also. Very much underused because there isn't all that often updates to number providers. Okay, so this has two versions side by sides in it, so that is definitely wrong. That was the wrong one. There we go. But what's left in here, though? Why do I have this marked as not done? Was there a... Have I re-recorded something about options? I don't have anything about... Well, I can mark this as done, actually. New fake thing done. It's neither of the title cards. These are copper golems in gameplay section, so it's not them. There was a keybind thing, but that was a re-recorded VO line. The SpawnChunks one, yeah. Like, we have been considering making a SpawnChunks one for like a long time. I don't know why I've put this as not done. Let's watch through it. Let's look at some options news. The F3 screen has been changed and can now be accessed from anywhere in the game, even when menu... Oh, right, I remember. I had a thing here somewhere. Where is it? Did I... Where did that go? I had a like a showcase F3 in the main menu thing. Menus are open and displays less information by default. There is a new debug option. I really did enjoy the camera spline showcasing the spawn chunk area reduction. Yeah, that was a big chunk of work also. I will not admit to that pun being not intended. I don't know where I would put it though. I had an idea of wanting a showcase that F3 can be on in the title menu. But then it doesn't fit, so wasn't there the cool one for display entities? The display entities one is just a display entity saying display entities. Because actually in-game text. Whereas all the other ones are edited on top. Displays less information by default. There is a new debug option screen that can be opened by pressing F3 and F5 at the same time, which can be used to configure which debug information should be displayed. Oh, I think I might know. Because I realized that there was a section that I had completely missed, and then I remade it, and I probably... It was... Yeah, I missed all the multi-keybind stuff. And then I put it back in, and then I guess I didn't mark it as done afterwards. I am in it, so I guess I'm biased. Yeah. There's also like a bunch of cool stuff that we made like for the Nether update and stuff. That was like all about the particular features of that update, and it's like, you know, never used again. How often do you need a Hoglin's title card? I spent like ages tracking the Hoglin on that one. Oh, one of my favorites also is, which one is that? Like villagers or something. Or trades or something like that. Could it be villagers? Yeah, it's villagers. Let's see how many people here notice the work that was put into this. Oh wait, you don't even see it on that one. Am I wrong? No, you do. You do. Could you tell why I put like a bazillion... Well, I put a bunch of work into that. Maybe not overstated, but it took a good while to make that card. Anybody? Cat walking on the text, yeah. So the normal state is the text is added in post, which means it ends up on top of everything. So in order for this to happen, you have to mask the cat, which is a bunch of work. But what don't you do for the cat, eh? That was options. Oldest still used card is probably the stability one is really old. Wouldn't text displays be easier for this? They are newer than that card. So the card has existed for much longer than text displays have. And 2, much uglier. Was re-recording not an option because of the cat? But the cat is there. The cat is great. Had it been a dog, I would have not cared and just removed the dog, yeah. Probably teleported the dog to under the world. And like these are made to look good, right? They're not made to be simple. Triggering all the dog people. Zoglins is we have there's a title card specifically for Zoglins. It would surprise me if that has been used more than once. It's not even that I hate dogs. Like I'm absolutely 100% a cat person. I like dogs, but you know, they're not cats. I mean, I guess I can sort this whole folder on date modified. I'm not sure that that will give us the right mobs. Here's the first mobs card I ever had. Has not been used for a good while. Here's the first World's Generation one I used. It's been replaced 2 times, I think. Oh, Redstone. That's probably still the Redstone card I would use if there was a Redstone update. Redstone specifically. Custom Worlds has been replaced. Yeah. So we will have ads on Twitch in about a minute. If you don't want to see the ads, you can sub to the channel and you get ad-free viewing, and also Twitch Turbo will get you ad-free almost everywhere. Gameplay. So apparently this is the oldest clip that I still use. And it is at this point more than 5 years old. Passive mobs was the same thing, except different text. Visuals. This is the old visuals card that I made a new one for and then forgot that I made a new one. So I kept using the old one for like God long knows how long. Crafting is still old. I made the one for experimental redstone. Well, experimental features is also one of the really nice ones. Like the newest experimental features card. That was a really like nice setup, and then I switched to a lab coat skin just to record that. Okay, I should probably get back to actually, you know, making video. Alright, so that's options done. What are we looking at? Spawn chunks and copper blocks both are just the title cards, which Epic is working on. Copper golems is basically these 2 things, I believe. Still left. Gameplay has a setup done. It might only be that. Let's look at the gameplay one. I like how you showed before and after world blending there. In the blending one, or what? The blending card is also quite cool. Why did you... Come on. Full screen on the right screen, please. This was another one that was quite a lot of work. Because I had to like make a pre-upgrade world and then upgrade it twice into 2 different worlds, and then yeah. Forget it. Also, all of that was before the before the mod, so a lot of that was like, okay, I have to use replay mod and transplant splines and all kinds of shenanigans. All right, so what do I need to record? I need to record this thing, spectator thing. Okay, the chunk loading is taking a good while, so we'll stay on the scene for a while. Biome changes are cool? I don't remember that. Nice setup note. New remastered 4K edition. Well, I mean, that's a difference. The thing that has happened, I think all of them are 1440p. That's been the case for a long time. But I have switched from 30 to 60 FPS. So some of the older ones are still 30 FPS. While the new ones are all 60. I need to go find this. Biome changes. Oh, yeah. Oh, that reminds me. There's a cool one that is feature decorators. No, that's not the one I thought about. It's like World Gem features. What is it called? Oh, this is called features. That's pretty cool. Some cool world gen like combo stuff plus video magic. Alright, anyway. This goes away. We're gonna go find the video folder because apparently I don't have that open. And this was called Gameplay Spectator Fly. This, get rid of all the extra things that happen just because I'm streaming. All this back here. This, the right versions. Get the right versions. Okay, cool. That should have been the last thing there. Oldest title card still in use. Apparently. Alright, we'll be lagging for a while again. Render this. Why did that clip have 4 audio tracks? Because I'm recording it with my... I'm being stupid again, ain't I? No? I'm not being stupid. I was like, did I record this with the stream overlay on? But apparently I didn't. It's being recorded with the same recording setup that I usually record my streams with locally. And they record my voice, well, game or like main master volume thing for the system into one channel. They record any Discord chat or like web browser sound into a second channel. They record my voice into a third channel. And they record the stream noises, like overlays and intro noises and stuff, into a fourth channel. So that I can then separate everything else. Music as well. Yeah, it is really useful. So I use that for my pause clips, for instance. Because when I play back the pause, a clip during the pause, I don't want the music from that first stream to also be in the new stream, because the new stream has new sound, you know. That most streamers do it. I don't know. If you record locally and re-edit with like changing music and stuff, then you should do that. Anyway, I should render this. And it's also the reason why I was able to, like, I've done this forever. Like, it's back to like Triple H and stuff. It's how, and Legacy stuff. It's how I could stream Legacy and then make edited videos, including clips of the streams, without having the music go like bananas. Because otherwise, what happens is you get like, you know, you want frequent cuts because you want to keep the action up. But then you get like, oh, hey, let's listen to clips of 14 different songs within 1 minute. It's very unpleasant. Music is 100% the hardest thing to do something with when editing. And if you can at all, like even if I play a different game, I will turn off the music and then I will be adding the music back in in post-edit. There is an old game called Submerged that I played on the channel way back, like probably 8-9 years ago. And I did that with the in-game sound, and it meant I had to find, I had to time my cuts to the music so that I could make and like crossfade it in such a way that it worked. It was a ton of work just to get it to be reasonable. Okay, so this should be done. I mean, we're getting somewhere here. Never heard of Submerged. It was I think there's a sequel also. It was a really cute, like quite small puzzle-y game that was all about like exploring a submerged city environment and figuring out pieces of the story of how that happened and everything. And the really cool thing about it, which I had no idea when I started it, was that it has a ciphertext puzzle built in. And I have no idea how many people solved it, but I did. And to the point where I ended up being able to read all of the ciphered stories in it, which was really cool. But it's a tiny indie title. All right. Spawn Chunks is a title card. Game rules. What's left on game rules? Oh, it's the thing that I re-recorded. It's the command blocks enabled thing. So we can do that. Can the video also be done in a similar way, i.e. on stream chat in its own layer? Not in its own layer, but you can. There is functionality to record input, so I could record the Minecraft source separately. Now the problem with that is every time I've tried to do that, because that would be hugely beneficial, because that means I can get always just a game stream, which means, you know, I could make edited video without any overlay. So it would be fantastic. Now the problem being that it, for some reason, eats a lot more like GPU power for actually encoding that. So I run a ton of encoders, actually. I run different encoder for on disk versus YouTube stream versus Twitch stream. And the Twitch stream actually runs like 4 different encoders. But for some reason, encoding the source separately just takes a ton more processing power. And so I've never been able to actually use the thing. All right, so that is done. Do you please sync up properly? There we go. And then this one. Should now say command blocks enabled. It does. Nice. Cool. Render that. I just had OBS record the system sounds and had an Audacity record my voice. It was clunky. Yeah, way back before I used OBS to record videos, I used to do something similar, and it's not worth it. Just use OBS for everything, and record multiple audio streams. Banger, the song. I agree. Also get a false copyright claim every time this song plays. Not a fan. One of those people who try to fool others by, claiming to have a free license and then trying to claim it anyway. So obviously I contest that claim every time and I win every time. It's just extra work. Because obviously they can automate claiming my videos, but I can't automate filing a counterclaim. Love that. Right, sorry, I had to adjust my microphone, and if I do it with without muting, it will make a lot of noise. All right, mobs, copper golems, copper blocks. These two are just the title cards. These two are these two. And then what's mobs? Don't know what mobs is. Wrap that up, and then I kind of know what's left here. Oh, I have re-recorded this. Yeah, okay, cool. Render again. Very nice. Winning, what is that, 100,000 times, but at what cost? Yeah, there was an artist that I still use in the playlist. This guy's called Scott Buckley. He's done a lot of like really good soundtracky like stuff, and he's providing it all for free under a Creative Commons attribution like 4.0 license, I think it is. And he decided that there are people who will take his music and put it into YouTube and then like put copyright protection on their videos, which basically will claim his music on everybody else's videos. And at some point he just had enough, right? And which is fair enough. The problem is he had by that point given people a license to use these songs with attribution, and I had proper attribution, always have. But he introduced some automated system where you were supposed to, you know, put a certain text into your description, like exactly according to some format that he decided. And that was not in all of my thousands of videos that had his songs. And I'm like, I'm not going through and changing all of those. So I could test everything. I had to make like web browser automation to contest all of the claims. I got like thousands and thousands of claims and sent him a bunch of emails where he was basically like, sorry, but not sorry. And I'm telling him basically like, you're willingly abusing. I understand your situation, but you're willingly abusing Content ID. And he was doing this through some company. And eventually I just had enough, and I like emailed that company on like their legal at whatever the company, and then like explained the whole situation. Like you are the agent of this artist who is like willingly abusing your system. And now I'm letting you know about this, and you are willingly complicit in abusing your rights to the Content ID system. And I know that YouTube will like shut people's access to that off. Now here I am notifying you that you are doing this, and now you know about it. If I get if you don't solve this, I will be, you know, escalating this through my YouTube contacts. And all the claims just vanished. Never got an answer to the email. Funny how that works. Alright, so that's mob sent. Alright, so the only thing, we have a couple of title cards and then copper golem stuff. I guess I'll work on the copper golem stuff first. So mysterious, yes. Alright, so replace sound on this thing. Right. Here, golem. How do I do this? Maybe I can do this. No. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that just broke. Does Miro have a dark mode? I have no idea. I use light mode. By choice, when I can. Alright, this is called mob/sheer golem. And the thing is, I have this clip. And I love that because he's. I love how he just goes, looks at me, and just goes and like bumps me. So actually, it looks like this, and I've added this "you what mate" text. But this doesn't have the shears sound, so I kind of just want a re-recording, but use the sound from the new recording, but the video from the old recording, just because I find it so charming. But so I'll need to do some extra work just for that. Pure Golem. So I guess what you should do is remove the sound from the other one. Synchronize them on the start point. This is the stuff I used to always do before I had the automation for the Vegas parts, which just removes the need to do all of this. I used to manually sync up clips all the time. There we go. What's my automation? It's a bunch of scripts. So one, like the most common thing I do, oh, there's nothing in here because this is a new feature, but the most common thing I do is stuff like this, where I will like, oh, I want this side by side. Let's put it side by side. Or let's put it above below, you know, to make side by side comparisons in certain ways. And then I have a script that will, based on a clip that looks like that, figure out if it's side by side or above below, and then go find the corresponding clip, the newest version of that for the new version, and then put it in the right place and screen. So you made a Vegas script that does this. Yes. So I have a bunch of Vegas scripts. Scripting. So I've got replace from project folder, which is basically go take the newest version of the thing from the project folder. Then set left, set top was the ones I showed. I'd kind of like to make one for just picking one of the title cards also. But I guess it's the win from that is small enough that I haven't really cared. Anyway. Focus. Copper golems. Okay, Epic's working on that one now. We can for this one though. I want to look at this before I record it. Okay, no. I get the allure of being on the video, but we do not need mannequins for every single clip. How does this show any of that? Oh no, I'm thinking it's the wrong thing. Wonder why you were saying the streaming makes the process slower. Well, yes. I mean, so being distracted and going on, you know, tangents makes it slower for sure, but even just the process of streaming, it makes it slower because I can't just, you know, record stuff. That mostly is the thing. That looked like he was just gonna go somewhere else. Alright. So that looks quite good. Now we need to actually redo it because that's a really long clip and I need to actually record it without all the overlays and stuff. Kind of weird how the block in his hands changes size when he's checking a chest. I didn't think about that. Nice. Cannot unsee. I will now forever see exactly that whenever a copper golem is opening a chest. Alright, so this clip is way too long for what it for the section you discover, but I think that is natural, and I think we just kind of want the end of it. Match is done per type of item, ignoring data like enchantments, durability, or custom names. If it doesn't find any items in a copper chest, or it doesn't find space to put its item, it will move on up to 10 chests in a row before taking a break for 7 seconds. Break for 7 seconds, and then try. Break for 7 seconds, and then trying again from the start. If the chest a copper golem wants to examine is busy, like break for 7 seconds, and then try in a row before on up to 10 chests in a row before taking a break for 7 seconds, and then trying again from the start. If the chest a copper golem wants to examine. Okay. I think that is the part we need. Yeah, it was nice little post. Okay, I should, oops, mark that as completed. We reload this. Does this player do the same thing when holding one item versus 2 items? No. Nah, I would consider that a bug. Nah, I'm not on the team that makes the copper golem, but I would consider it a bug. Copper blocks title card is done, so let's move to that until we have the other thing done. Love this bug. Oop. Probably a Majira report already. I'm not sure. I haven't seen one. I don't think one has been triaged, but I could have missed it. Oh, there's a recipe unlock sound, but that doesn't matter because I don't have sounds for title cards, so that should be fine. Desktop view. I'm going to close this. Fun fact: Adobe is stuck in God knows when, and doesn't. Oh, what is my? Yeah, sorry. They don't support like modern video codecs, so I have to actually render this through Vegas to be able to make a title video out of it. Great. For blocks. Cool. Kick off After Effects. This certainly is an interesting song. What the heck? Living the dream in the laundry machine. I mean, sure. Copper block. Do you think for a game like Minecraft with a huge bug tracker, almost all bugs have probably been reported already? No. Well, I mean, for things that have existed in the game for a long time, for sure. Most of the really important bugs have been reported already, and the remaining things are like nitpicks that barely anybody cares about. It's your music. Well, it's like I get them as collections, right? And it's an interesting song. But you know, different songs and different feelings fit different places. And in some cases, you really want really quirky music for videos. especially things like if you're making Let's Plays. But for a random stream when it just shows up, interesting. But also interesting name. I know at least one problem with copper golems that I didn't find a report on yet. The new things, less likely than old things, obviously. Love AV1? Well, me too when I'm allowed to use it. Do you have any new vanilla challenges planned soon? I do have one idea that I want to do. I'm not sure what I will do for RLcraft, because now I've been kind of forced to pause RLcraft. And honestly, not sure I want to go back to it. There's like, I feel like I'm just getting somewhere and there's a bunch of uncompleted stuff in there, but not sure. One thing I definitely want to do is a no food challenge. Why aren't you using FFmpeg for rendering into a different codec for After Effects? Why would I in particular? It's not like... What in the world is this scale? What have you done? What in the... Yeah, I'm not sure about this. Let's try a different mode here. That's the same? No, that's better. Okay, good. After Effects, you drunk. So, like, there's so many things I could do to, like, optimize my workflow and whatnot. But, like, you do the ones where it matters the most. And I could set up some automated thing to, like, to recompress the title card thing. But I make, like, one a month at most. It doesn't have... Like, I would just waste time because I forgot where I put the script. I don't even want the color to be on this. I don't want this off-white, I think. Usually I try to match the theme of the thing that I'm, like, that it's about, but I don't think I want to do that here because it doesn't really make sense. Maybe it's just fully white. Which weirdly looks a little bit green. Maybe it is a bit green. It is a bit green. There we go. I have a bunch of tooling around stream archives that uses FFmpeg, but it's no longer in use because instead of doing that, I stream directly to YouTube, which means I get this kind of stream archive for free, if you will. Previously, when I would put the stream archive on my second channel, I would do it with this. I think this is fine. Also nice that it's like, it fits nicely between the rows here. Maybe I want it slightly larger so like it's actually exactly one block between top and bottom row. Might be worth trying. Oh, it expands too far out then maybe. I kind of liked it more before. Maybe we'll keep it here. Super versatile, I like that tool. I mean, it's great for what it does, right? But if you don't use it really often, then it's a mess to get into every time. It is so far from being easily accessible. All right, copper blocks. All right, we're done. I'll keep that open. We're gonna go to the other instance of Vegas. Go to copper blocks. Like that. Ooh, okay. Interesting. I have a shorter title here. This looks fine. Remove the sound. It was blank anyway. Okay. So this should now be done. Let's double check this. Correct. Good. Render that. And we're just hanging out while this renders. Like the other thing I've noticed recently with copper golems, and I think it might have started happening after the changes in pre-2 even, or possibly pre-1, but I think pre-2 actually, is that if you change any data of a copper golem, it will reset its behavior fully. So like if it was going somewhere and you just change the oxidation level, it will just stop and start over. Which is something I noticed only when I was working with these videos. Because it's a mess to try to get them to behave on video now. Alright, so that means... Give me my browser window. Mark that is done. I did not, I guess. I guess I might as well grab the spawn chunks title card thing. Although I have no idea how we make a title card for that. But that is part of the challenge. Copper blocks is done. Looks like Epic has the last piece of the other one also, but I'll look at this first. Minecraft, there we go. How do we make a title card for the spawn chunks? Part of me just thinks I should just take a cool place like this maybe and make like a spline here. Do I want lava all over the place? I don't think I do. I would love if I could get rid of that, but it's gonna be a mess. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about something similar, non-answer. Not lava. There we go. I was actually kind of just thinking about taking something like this and then just putting mannequins of Pix and Joel in here. Just as a little in-joke. There's no way to represent the spawn chunks reasonably, right? As a concept. Maybe you put them like next to each other, like talking to each other. Is this a reasonable place to do it? Will you see them? Empty void world since they're gone now? Also, this will forever annoy me if I leave it in here. There's another lava thing. Oh yeah, I guess spawning could be a thing, right? Yeah. That makes sense. The problem here is I don't know where I would put the text. We can put it across the top, I guess. Where would we put them? Here. Like there. It's double F, right? And I mean, the other thing you did would be some. Wait, I mean, the other thing would be something like you did for the spawn chunk size reduction. Yeah, I kind of get that, but it's just like representing chunks at all, right? You just blank out a part of the world that isn't these chunks. But oh, mannequins have the weird body angle problem. I didn't know that. So I guess if I turn you like here and then turn you back. Don't love that. Okay. I don't know his name in game, but I would presume that it. Well done, Lime. You put him on top. Didn't change the coordinates. So that would be whichever one of them is not the B2 one. Can I autocomplete that here? No. The hell is he wearing? So kind of, if I can, I actually want to abuse this thing a little bit. Let's move you up here-ish. Yeah, that's cool. And then this thing as at E, mannequins. We'll face you. Phase out. There we go. And then turn to each other. Nice. All right. So I guess we used. So if we just do this and like pan around a little bit, we can anchor the card on like the text on top of them. I think that works. Maybe slightly further out. Maybe actually. I mean, then we get the render limit quite far in. I don't like that. We'll do this. Like from there, it doesn't need to move all that much. There. I make that mistake so much. What about giving the mannequins AI behavior? Is that possible? From what point of view? Is it possible to at some point add that into the game? Yes, everything's possible. It's just programming. Could I do it now? No. Not reasonable. Not reasonably. Okay, that should be the B-roll done. Well, I presume, actually, I was going to change my mind on that because there's going to be more B-roll. It's going to be, at the very least, a thumbnail for this video that needs to be done. Is it possible to make the mannequins solve the P versus MP problem? Probably spell out P and NP with mannequins. That'll be sufficient, right? All right, we have to switch over again to here. I don't remember the latest time. There was some kind of partial proof. Did not mean to do that, but I guess it's fine. It's going to be the same settings. Remove all the audio. Under this, title videos, spawn chunks. Maybe the problem doesn't exist in Minecraft. Who knows? Is a sphere a square? Or a block? Where should I write to ask Mojang to add new advancements? Feedback site or the official feedback Discord? This might be a hard track, actually. We'll see what it does with it. Is it possible to make a mannequin T-pose? No. We can only use the poses that players can at this point. I've used this song in an Outdoors video. Will you be able to solve this? Huh? That looks kind of sort of well, maybe we like hook it onto here. I'm going to use these spawn chunks because otherwise the joke doesn't really work. Whoa, how much is this moving? Turn you a bit this way and then higher, slightly back. I think I like that. It's a little floaty, which is to be expected. By which I mean it slides a little compared to where it should be if it was stuck there in the world. I think it's good. Good enough. quite weird that we haven't made that card before now, and now it's only ever gonna get used once. Maybe I should use this as a raid animation whenever Joel raids. Or picks, I suppose. Although Joel's streaming time tends to line up, so he has raided me a lot more. I'll just keep it as a thing I can manually trigger. For now, though, I think we're done with title cards. We'll close that. Back to... What? One chunks there. Does After Effects support camera data? Imagine your mod could somehow give After Effects. So yeah, I mean, it could probably. It does, I think, support depth values. So it could render a depth value thing, but I don't think it's. Like, I guess we could also give it the camera spline data. But I don't know if it's worthwhile. It tracks stuff well. So this gameplay thing is what we need to replace. On chunks. There it is. So much effort for that little thing. Saw there were new listings for positions at Mojang. Out of curiosity, how many developers are there on Java Edition team roughly? I don't know if I can answer that. For several different reasons. Like, we're split into teams. Some people don't exclusively work on Java, but still do work on Java. And I also don't know if we have actual public knowledge on that. So I will pass on that question. Sorry. Or I guess the answer is it's complicated. Is it 91? Who knows? More than one, less than a million. This seems like a safe range. Man, Amos Roddy's stuff is so solid. That should mean... okay, this thing is the only thing I haven't recorded yet. I guess we'll call this green for now, because it annoys me to have a box that's not green while it is actually, like, everything in it is recorded. But we'll probably be adding more stuff there later, and then the thing that is remaining is this one copper golem thing. Did I hear Windows 7? No. I mean, you might have heard a Windows ding, but I don't know how you conclude which Windows version it was from that. Oh my god, this fly is going to annoy the heck out of me. Why do you have to be here? Okay. Happy, I love that you're helping me with stuff, but really you need to stop just overcomplicating things to get into shot. There's zero reason why this thing should be a 2-player setup. Oh, there is actually. There's a good reason. No, it's just me being stupid. Let me just add all of that back. Can't tab complete that, silly. No, what? Play the right thing. I need to be not there, so I'm gonna be in the way. Golem, please. That's another thing that changed in pre 2. There. He was on that chest the instant it was closed. Holy shit. Okay. It was barely visible that it was not like being held open by Epic anymore before he took the thing out of it. Okay. Stream overlays. Oh my god. Thank you. Well, it's such a good spline that we do it again. Well, the nice part is it was it was better this time. Wouldn't surprise me if I end up like with a clip somewhere where I have stream overlays. This is very interesting. Okay, what have I done wrong here? Because I have 2 gaps in this video, but only one thing that I've recorded. I think this part I need something for, but I don't know what because I haven't noted it down. So I've made a mistake of not noting what I need here. This here. All of the audio streams. These. Being checked by another copper golem. The copper golem wants to examine is busy, like being checked by another copper golem or opened by a player. The golem will wait for it to become available. Nice. What have I done here? Alright, we're coming up on ads again. I'm actually going to take a break this time, so you won't miss anything. We'll drop to a BRB screen, which will have clips instead and stuff. So if you want to see funny clips instead of boring ads, then you can sub to the channel or get Twitch Turbo. Otherwise, feel free to, you know, step away, grab some snacks, fill up your drinks, whatever you need, and then we'll continue in a few minutes. It'll be like 3-4 minutes. See you soon. Oh, we went a lot further down than I thought. Oops. What the? Did you see that? Okay, well, I mean, I free check, I guess. There it is.
No, I am not okay. I'm still locked up in your basement. Please bring me water.
Shush! You're not supposed to tell the guests. Jeez, this tunnel is long now. And I've dug it this long because... Cod dice? Why was there a cod that died? Cod hurts? Cod dies? Drown swims. I have decided we should go the other way. Whee! Aww. Whee! Aww. Whee! Oh. Should I tunnel somewhere? Might not be the worst idea. Like, I really want to get out so I can barter these. I have a really good bartering situation now. Ah! What? What is it with the gas right around my backside? It's the same as happened last time. What in the world? To my benefit, I actually did manage to hold up the shield, but holy crap. What do I even do about that? And we're gonna go straight down until we find a block where we can stand, which is here. Great. Switch back to... You were onto something with the unlucky 13. Alright, we're back. I so love that clip. I don't know what clip you were referring to. What are we doing? We're thinking about copper columns. This can only happen if the column is currently in an air block. There is a 0.58% chance of the golem converting every game tick, which means it has about a 10% chance of converting within a second, or... I can use this clip now. I've re-recorded this and it's longer. Ooh. Ooh, very much almost. Okay, we're fine. I don't know why this is complaining. Oh, that is actually really annoying. What is going on? It's a... Okay, the audio is desynced from the video here. 10% chance of converting... Oh, the when I like replaced the fire with a netherrack or whatever. Oh no, okay, yeah, that one. Okay, I did see that. Do you think being a Minecraft dev made you a better Minecraft player, knowing the code? Not really. In some edge cases, maybe. Playing a lot of Minecraft made me a better Minecraft player. Playing a lot of Minecraft made me a better Minecraft dev. For sure, certain. Okay. Alright, I think we're done with this one. Which, hello? What are you doing? Which means we're going to render that, so we're again going to probably lag quite a lot. Sorry about that. We'll be hanging out again. It's not really much you can do. Lots of baseballs. I mean, yeah, that's baseballs. Lots of baseballs. That is also a song title. Certainly one of the song titles of all time. So I believe when this is done now, there's only intro and outro left. Plus, like all the, you know, audio balancing, music, all that stuff, which is definitely a thing that needs to happen. But the video itself will be done after. The video content will be done after intro and outro. Now, intro is usually like a hype fest of a bunch of the stuff that's been added. So I need to find the good clips for that and edit it up. The intro is much higher paced than the rest of the video. And I also use, generally, much more high energy music for it also. And then the outro just needs something fun. It's, I think, a longer outro than I normally have. Basically spending a bit longer begging people to like and sub and stuff. So we started at 8:15. Basically done 2 hours of editing. I am up to 5.5 hours of work on this video today. And it was 6.5, I think, before that, so. Playing Minecraft made you a better dev because you know the player experience. Yes. Because you have a very deep sense of what things affect players, at least players of some, some kinds. It also means I'm more likely to be able to say, well, if you make this change, that's likely to trip this edge case because people use this and this, right? And the fact that I've done so much different kind of stuff, like this channel started as a map making, like, command block contraptions showcase channel, right? I've done a lot of Let's Plays, I've done a lot of Redstone, I've done speedrunning from bingo, I've done challenge runs, done SMPs. So I've got, a bunch of different kind of viewpoints on the game, which obviously is a benefit. All right. That is not the window I wanted. This one is. Copper golems, green. Ta-da! All right, I guess I bite the intro bullet. I always leave these for last. I find them quite hard. It's so much work for, like, what is this, 15 seconds? So, I think I will keep the styling here, which is essentially the clip transition. Why are these muted? The clip transition is a flash over with a shelves, like a magic plus thing. Welcome back, Lalova. There's always the VOD. This came from me answering whether I think being a Minecraft dev made me a better Minecraft player with no, but I think being a Minecraft player made me a better Minecraft dev. Alright, so what are we showcasing here? We're definitely showing a copper golem. We're definitely trying to show some form of copper armor, weapons, something. We're definitely wanting to show his shelves. You can do that in Twitch also. You just have to open the VOD, even though it doesn't work as smoothly. Let's look at some stuff. Is this a fun clip? Maybe this is a fun clip. That could work as a copper golem clip. In that case, we kind of want. So that is probably the first thing, which is probably like this section. Really, what I should do is I should start with music, so I can time up stuff to music. Let's go do that. So we are going to stop the stream music for a little bit. That keeps it on screen. I don't want that. We'll turn it off. There we go. And then we'll go here. What do I want? I probably want epic, maybe. I kind of want something that is reasonably fast, but I don't know how to find that. This is not gonna be it. This coming through properly on stream? Yes, it is. Sentimental. I mean, this is good. This is good-ish, but it's a bit too slow, I think. No, that ain't it. This sounds like old MIDI file. No. Okay, also hip hop can go away because sorry. Why does it why I filtered on instrumental? Why do I have explicit something that has vocals? I'm sorry. Instrumentals. Why is Epidemic Sounds? Are you okay there? Anyway, I don't want hip hop anyway. Nope. Not like this. This could work. It's like a ridiculously happy over the top thing, but that's kind of the thing I'm looking for a little bit. Nice. Laura Platt. I guess maybe she just makes those kind of things, given that the other song I have by her is called Soar. That gives me an idea to maybe just look at all her stuff. Okay. Okay. That could actually fit really well. Also, I should probably just download everything she's made. And this is a good example of the thing, right? Where I'm just adding these to my collection and they will show up on stream. But it for a, you know, fishing stream or whatever, low key, this will be ridiculously over the top. But I think here it fits. Also, I have a screaming cat outside my door. I think we try this Maiden Voyage track. Also, do I have this in my stream list already? Sore. I don't. Why not? Let's go add all of these. All right. I don't have a soundtrack track here. Why don't I do? I'm blind. Minecraft. Okay, cut the start. Probably want this to be louder, but we can work with this. Minecraft 1.21.9. This is the Copper Age drop with the Copper Golem, Copper Tools and Armor. Okay. So the first cut here is actually almost perfect already, but we need... After that, it's very much not. Minecraft 1.21.9. This is the Copper Age drop with the Copper Golem, Copper... There's where the second one needs to be. Copper Tools and Armor. Copper Tools... Probably like here. And I have them on... Wait, I have 2 second overlap? Eh? No, that's not it. This... Huh? You on a... That is a 15 frame overlap. That's way different. For tools and armor. For tools and armor. Okay, yeah. And then we adjust these. How are they? They start 17 frames before. Why is this? Okay, whatever. 17 frames. There. Golem, copper tools and armor. Oh. Copper golems, copper tools and... Okay, I need to go deal with this cat. I'll be right back, chat. Can I be right back without triggering ads here? I'll just be right back. You'll stay on the screen. All right, sorry about that. So the problem is I have so much automation around my my streams that I have a bunch of like I have a keybind to trigger my break screen, but it also triggers ads and stuff. So I can't really use it just for quick BRB. How much stream delay do you have, IK blocks? Also need to do one more thing before we get going here again. And the music is off because we are doing music for the video, and it will sound awful if I try to do two over each other. Wrong thing. Go. Buying. Done. Okay, cool. Good. All right. My internet grew legs and went to heaven. Well, luckily not. All right, so we can probably just to have no new. How do we do this? We will take this instance and open the copper equipment section. Because that one was so unchanged that I don't have any updated clips. Music over music sounds great. Have you not listened to No Leaves Clover's break screen? I don't think I have, actually. What is the... Maybe this clip. That's not bad. Oh, what a mess. This is why I hate doing this so much. Maybe from there. Because we're just going to use a really short piece of the clip. Also, I want this on here. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, now we can remove this. Start there instead. I'm fully armored by the end of the clip. Delete that. 9. This is the Copper Age drop with the Copper Golem, Copper Tools and Armor, Shell. Shelves, new decorative copper blocks. Okay, so we went shelves before the copper blocks here. Item showcase, I have something called. Probably good. Yeah. Just take a piece of this here. I would presume here that the pieces I want are roughly equally sized. Which would mean this, I want this to be 2 seconds and 27 frames. Let's just try that. Come on. There we go. And then I cannot remember. I said 17 frames before the transition. Yes. And the transition is 20. Is this even reasonable? This is the Copper Age drop with the copper. Good luck with the video. I have an exam, so I definitely should be watching Minecraft Snapshot making exposed. No, you should like go get prepared. But thank you and good luck. Do this from the start. Minecraft 1.21.9. This is the Copper Age drop with the Copper Golem, Copper Tools and Armor, Shelves, new decorative. Yeah, that does sound. New decorative copper block. Copper Tools and Armor, Shelves, new decorative copper. I'm not sure I have it exactly right, but it's roughly right. Let's use this for a second. The wrong clip, but it's fine. That looks really weird. Right, because I have 15 frames, not 20. And then I want 17 frames before here. There is where I want to start up this. Please, there. Shelves, new decorative copper blocks, and much more. Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. So rare to see a fellow Vegas user these days. On the other hand, I'm getting lots of people in chat who apparently use Vegas. So I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not sure I would start with Vegas if I started today. But at this point, my workflow is so incredibly like just I'm so used to Vegas. It would take so much to replace it. All right, so after shells, we need copper, the decorative copper blocks thing. Maybe we use the title card, but without the title. Like, because this is a showcase of copper blocks. I think that might work nicely. Probably the very start of it. And cut here. And then take that. For shelves, new decorative copper blocks, and much more. The Vinci Resolve. Yeah, I mean that's what I probably would pick if I started today. And I do use it sometimes. But I'm way less efficient when using that. And I could probably get there, but it is a massive investment. And I don't really feel like I have time. Okay. So you need to get here. What? Copper blocks and much more. My name is slicedlime, and welcome to the best guide to this update. Okay, so I'm not really mentioning anything in particular here. So question is, what do I need 2 more clips by the looks of things. What do I put in there? End flashes seem like a... I don't have that in here, which is weird. Uh, 15 frames, overlap. Stop. 10 frames. Offset. You start there. Thing. Borrow you real quick, like that. That's the length of it. Blocks and much more. My name is slicedlime, and welcome to the best. I'm not sure I have that. Something mannequins, but they're not in this video because this is only the gameplay changes. So one more thing. I don't know what it is though. So there is a bunch of portal related changes. There's a bunch of like Ender Pearl related changes. There's a bunch of UI option stuff. I don't know that any of that really makes sense. I feel like maybe kind of an iron golem handing a flower to the copper golem. Just to bring it all back to the copper golem. I mean, what else? Pawn chunk change, but you can't. It's just not a thing you can show. And a bunch of like important bug fixes, but they're still just bug fixes. All right, where is this iron golem thing? Also, I need to move my mic. I'm speaking like way outside of it. Here, that'll be better. There it is. And then this fades normally. And I need one more little sound effecty thing. That's 17 frames before this. There. Can I do this reasonably? Apparently. Okay, there is a tail to this. Ooh, annoying. So this one, ideally, I guess ideally I move all of them out, but I guess it's fine. All right, so $19 frames out. I guess that's fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to render this without the music, but with the sound effects. Thank you, no. Render this. This will mean the resulting video file will have a bunch of black at the end of it because the sound overextends, which we'll have to deal with. But I think that's fine. Okay, close that. Go to the other instance. We're going to open the main file here. Then we need to transfer some of this stuff in here. What? Excuse me? You can't open the we just rendered it. Oh, it's 0 bytes. What did I do here? This seems fine. Render it again. It is rendering. It's not really a Windows 7 sound. It's a chime. And it's a notification thing. And Vegas uses it to say that the video is done rendering. Okay, now it worked. I don't know what went wrong the last time. Let's open this again. 0 bytes is a little small, yes. Oh, great. I forgot to mute this. Okay, never mind. Close you again. Render once more. Hopefully to more than 0 bytes. What's your favorite sound? Open this back up. Okay. So now we have this, but I think if I do this, so it's not really game sound here. It's just, well, it kind of is. But I just need this on another track that has the same volume, so that we can extend this to the end without and have it overlap there. Because this is just going to have a tiny tail of like, well, it's barely audible. I can't actually hear it. It's fine. Okay. And then if I just dump that all the way back to there, that's 19 seconds. And then toss this into the soundtrack channel. Not 19 seconds, 19 frames. And then pull this back here again. 19 frames. Definitely want this up. And probably, okay, I want the entire song. I want the entire song. There we go. Probably lower the volume after the intro. Maybe not even that far, but we'll try. Minecraft 1.21.9 is the Copper Age drop with the Copper Golem, copper tools and armor, shelves, new decorative copper blocks, and much more. My name is slicedlime, and welcome to the best guide to this update. Let's start with the Copper Golem and copper chests. Copper Golems are in. My name is slicedlime, and welcome to the best guide to this update. Let's start with the copper golem and copper chests. Copper golems are a new mob with 12. That energy drop in that music is actually just perfectly timed with the end of the intro. I love that. That just worked out so well. Okay. Is it intentional that you still have the music off? Yes. Because we're still doing music. Probably we'll keep that for the rest of the stream. Or most of this. So I need an outro thing. That's the only kind of missing piece. I did not want to save that, actually. We want that. Okay. I guess we can have music on while we deal with that. What is this Zorro song that I have had by Laura Platt from before? Okay. Okay, so here is the outro. But that's all for this one. Thank you so very much for watching until the end. If you'd like to support the stupid amount of hours I put into making these videos, that is as easy as hitting the like and subscribe buttons we YouTubers always nag about down below. Or if you really want to support me, you can become a YouTube member or patron for some added perks. My name is slicedlime, and I'll see you next time. And for that, we need 18 seconds of video. How do you achieve 3D tracking through Vegas? I don't. 3D tracking is more of an effect thing than editing thing. And so I use After Effects for that. Like oh! This part of the song I've used. This is an intro song from one of the previous update videos. But apparently I used like the second half of it. I didn't recognize the start. Anyway. Might actually be the previous update video. Like, even if you were editing in Adobe Premiere, you wouldn't be using Premiere for 3D tracking. Like, you would be using After Effects. So what are we doing for the outro? I really don't know. Because I don't want like it's not the same kind of hype. Maybe use the end flash thing again? Because I'm here and looking at things and it's a fairly long clip. But that's all for this one. Thank you so very much for watching until the end. If you'd like to support the stupid amount of hours I put into making these videos, that is as easy as hitting the like and subscribe buttons we YouTubers always nag about down below. Or if you really want to support me, you can become a YouTube member or patron for some added perks. My name is slicedlime, and I'll see you next time. God, what just happened there? Member or patron for some added perks. My name is slicedlime. Is there an error in this video file, or is it just Vegas that's choking on it every time? That looks very messed up. What is going on with this video? Yeah, Blender's video editing mode is great that it exists. That's... Okay, something is messed up with this video file. Yeah, maybe we don't use all of it. It's slightly boring. Twitch buffering also? Or is it the same? Maybe we use the N-City thing. YouTube member or patron for some added perks. My name is slicedlime, and I'll see you next time. Unless I have some fun, like, blooper stuff we're gonna put there. Don't know what that would be, though. I guess the one thing would be if we're going to use the copper golem, taking an atom out of a chest while it's sitting in midair. But I don't really want to. I don't really want to showcase like things that are bugs that were fixed in snapshots. I'd find showing like bloopers that because I messed something up or whatever. You could use proxies in Vegas. Proxies are great, but also not. Proxies only really do something if you put like the preview quality down. I could not use Vegas without proxies, but lately I have stopped using them. I have a good enough computer to not need it, and also there were like, I don't know, bugs that messed up if you did use proxies. So I had some videos that got messed up because I had proxies. Bloopers would be awesome. Yeah, but what do we have though? Problem is we don't categorize them really. Yeah, if you're delayed, you can change the quality of the stream, like the bitrate, back and forth, and it will pop back to the start, or you can just reload. Yeah, problem is I don't really know how much we have in terms of that. Trying to find some, but I don't know. I mean, I have a bunch of stuff like this. Oh, that's even a half. That's not even correct. But like a bunch of stuff where I'm like missing a copper golem or something. Which isn't really even fun. Oh yeah, waiting forever for a lightning to actually strike the thing. It was fun. So one thing that has changed in this version is like TNT explosions. And it is mentioned in the video, but there's only one clip of it. What we could do is make a huge TNT explosion. I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave it like this for now. Because now there is content there. And maybe I'll go back to it. The you what make golem could be fun. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of, I think, fun stuff with golems. I don't know how to find it all properly. And I'm thinking about stuff that isn't in the video already. We go here, we go here, we mark intro and outro as green. which means now there's only sound tracking, audio balancing, and finalizing left. Which is maybe an hour or so. Like, obviously I need to watch through the entire thing and make sure that it's good, right? Then we start over and do it all again with the tech stuff. This far has taken, so what are we up to now? 2.5 hours. That's 6 hours today. So we're up to like 13 hours in total, I think, for this video. It'll be like 14, 15 hours for this video. And that is with all of the material already available from snapshot videos. And also quite optimized workflows at this point. Basically 2 full working days to make one of these videos. And then I need to do the same thing again for the tech video. But maybe we can get most of the headway done on the on audio, which means I am once again going to turn off the music. This sorting going from the start, that they have oxidized make up statues one after another. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we kind of want, like, ideally something that like highlights what I'm talking about, right? Which is that I'm putting a lot of work into this, but I don't know. Also, something just fun could work. I don't know. All right, here we go. Minecraft 1.21.9 is the Copper Age drop with the Copper Golem, Copper Tools and Armor, Shelves, new decorative copper blocks, and much more. My name is slicedlime, and welcome to the best guide to this update. Let's start with the Copper Golem and Copper Chests. Copper Golems are a new mob with 12 health, that is 6 hearts, which can be spawned by placing a copper block and then a jack-o'-lantern or a carved pumpkin on top of it. When the Copper Golem spawns, it also converts the copper block into a copper chest. This also works with oxidized copper blocks of any level, which causes the resulting golem and chest to be of that oxidation level. You can also use a waxed block, however, the golem and chest do not become waxed as a result. Once created, the Copper Golem also oxidizes over time, but like the blocks, you can also wax it. Note that this takes incredibly long time, between... That is actually a little bit loud here. Converts the copper block into a copper chest. This also works with oxidized copper blocks of any level, which causes the resulting golem and chest to be of that oxidation level. You can also use a waxed block, however, the golem and chest do not become waxed as a result. Once created, the Copper Golem also oxidizes over time, but like the blocks, you can also wax it. Note that this takes incredibly long time, between 7 hours and 7 hours and 40 minutes in real-world playing time, although the time does count regardless of where you are in the world, even if the golem is not loaded. The Copper Golem can also be de-oxidized by scraping it with an axe, just like blocks, and like blocks, they de-oxidize when struck by lightning. But despite having a lightning rod on their heads, they do not attract lightning. There are no functional differences between copper golems of different oxidation levels, they simply look different. When a copper golem is fully oxidized, it has a constant chance of turning into a block instead, a copper golem statue block. This can only happen if the golem is currently in an air block. There is a 0.58% chance of the golem converting every game tick, which means it has about a 10% chance of converting within a second, or more than 99.9% within a minute. If the copper golem was holding an item when converting to a statue, it will drop that item. If the copper golem is named, it'll keep that name when it turns into a golem statue block and back. The copper golem statue block is a new decorative block. It has all levels of oxidation variance and can also be waxed, and otherwise oxidizes over time. It can be placed in the 4 cardinal directions and has a pose. This pose can be changed by interacting with the block to pick one out of 4 poses, and which pose it is in can be read using a comparator, which gives a value between 1 and 4. You can pick up this block by mining it, and the right tool for the job is a pickaxe, although it can also be mined much slower without a pickaxe. Right. So from that point, we need 18 minutes and 20 seconds of music. Does this Laura Platt person have any kind of thing that would fit? It's all very high energy, I would think. It's all epic. Everything's labeled epic, except this one thing. That's not going to work. I want something that is lower energy, because it's more supposed to be background than up front. I'm not doing any editing to fit the energy of that. I'll keep that because I did like that. I did like her style, so we'll probably download a whole bunch of that. What do we go for? Maybe dreamy as a mood, and then find something from there. Piano. What the heck? What kind of genre is that? It's not for this. Christmas songs, maybe not. Zorro? Okay, also vocals go away. There's lo-fi hip-hop. Is there actually like a lo-fi? Just lo-fi? No? What we might try is like soft house though. My ideal here is to find an artist that I can use all of their music for the entire video, to get some kind of thematic feel to it. This might work. What were you just listening to? Waterworks. Instrumentals only, please. Yeah, I mean we can work with this, I think. Let's start with this. Die-O. Alrighty. Can be read using a comparator, which gives a value between 1 and 4. You can pick up this block by mining it, and the right tool for the job is a pickaxe, although it can also be mined much slower without a pickaxe. The statue will keep its pose when it is placed back down again. Copper golem statues pop into item forms when pushed by pistons. If the copper golem statue block has no oxidation when scraped with an axe, it will turn back into a copper golem. Copper golems carry and sort items between chests. This starts by it looking for any kind of copper chest within 32 blocks horizontally and 8 blocks vertically. It will walk over to a copper chest, open it, and attempt to take any item inside, carrying up to 16 items in one stack at a time, regardless of the type of item. It takes the golem 3 seconds to stop and examine each copper chest it visits, regardless of if it ends up with an item or not. Once it has a stack of items, it'll look for a regular chest, or trapped chest, to put it in within that same area and go to the closest one. Again, taking 3 seconds, regardless of if it puts the item in or not. In order to put the item in that chest, the chest has to be either entirely empty or already contain the exact same type of item. This match is done per type of item, ignoring data like enchantments, durability, or custom names. If it doesn't find any items in a copper chest, or it doesn't find space to put its item, it will move on up to 10 chests in a row before taking a break for 7 seconds and then trying again from the start. If the chest a copper golem wants to examine is busy, like being checked by another copper golem or opened by a player, the golem will wait for it to become available. When a copper golem is holding an item stack, you can interact with it with an empty hand to make it drop that stack. Like villagers, copper golems can open doors. That is, including wooden and copper doors, not iron ones. Like iron golems, copper golems are immune to fall damage and do not drown underwater. Iron golems now have a chance of giving poppies to copper golems just like they previously could. Copper golems are immune to fall damage and do not drown underwater. Iron golems now have a chance of giving poppies to copper golems just like they previously could to villagers. But unlike villagers, they can also place the flower on top of the copper golem. When this has happened, the flower can then be sheared off, or if the golem turns into a statue block, it will drop as an item. Of course, another way to get a copper golem is to use the copper golem spawn egg. Copper chests can also be crafted from a chest surrounded by copper ingots. They work like regular chests, combine into double chests and can fit as many items, but can also oxidize, and can be waxed to stop that process. To scrape off the oxidation, you will need to hold shift to avoid opening the chest. The right tool to mine a copper chest is a pickaxe. Like all other chests, opening a copper chest will anger any nearby piglins. This version also makes copper an equipment tier, with copper armor, tools and weapons crafted using copper ingots according to the same patterns as for other tiers. Copper armor has a damage reduction between leather and chainmail. It has higher durability than leather and gold and is slightly less enchantable than iron, meaning that it will get slightly worse enchants at the same input levels. And there is now a darker armor trim color for copper on copper trims, just like for other armor materials. Copper tools mine the same materials as stone tools, but work faster than stone and have higher durability of 190 compared to 131 for stone. They have a higher enchantability than diamond, but lower than iron. Copper tools and weapons do the same amount of damage as stone ones, with the same attack speed. There are now also copper nuggets that can be crafted from and into copper ingots. And smelting copper tools and armor gives a copper nugget. Repairing copper tools and armor is done with copper ingots. And finally, there is now also copper horse armor that generates wherever iron horse armor generates and has a toughness of 4. Mobs can now also spawn with copper armor, just like they could previously spawn with leather armor. A copper version of the torch has been added. It works just like the regular torch with the same light level, but has a green flame texture and particles. It is crafted like a regular torch, but with a copper nugget on top. There's also a copper lantern. It is crafted with a copper... Okay, new song. Which is this? Sure. I think that works. We're coming up on another round of Twitch ads, folks, in a couple of minutes here. I am just going to continue working through that. So if you want to keep watching and you don't want the ads to interrupt, you will need to either sub to the channel, that gives you ad-free viewing always, or get Twitch Turbo, that gives you ad-free viewing on most of Twitch, even though some creators will select to still have ads for you. Despite Turbo, but I don't. I would prefer to not run the ads if I can, but I don't want to lose track here. So if you want to keep watching despite that, sub to the channel is your thing. It is crafted with a copper torch surrounded by copper nuggets, and much like the torch, this one has the same light level as a regular lantern, but a green flame texture. Copper lanterns also oxidize over time like other copper blocks and can be waxed and scraped as well. The chain block is now called iron chain. This is to distinguish from a new type of chain, the copper chain. Like you might expect, this is crafted from copper nuggets and a copper ingot. Like other copper blocks, copper chain oxidizes over time and can be waxed and scraped. And finally, iron bars now have a new counterpart in copper bars, crafted using 6 copper ingots. They work just like iron bars and can connect to iron bars as well, and like other copper blocks they also oxidize and can be waxed and scraped. Since when is that a thing? I think it's been around for a couple of years. I think I've only ever encountered like one creator who's actually stupid enough to turn that on though. But yeah, and you can also, I think, control it. So like, I think some people have it set so that you have to have like tier 2 sub to avoid ads or whatever. But yeah, the greed is real. The Minecraft experts among you might now be objecting that the 6 copper ingots crafting recipe is the one for a copper trapdoor. And you'd recipe is the one for a copper trapdoor. And error in copper blocks. Okay. And that was like over here, this thing. Why have you done this, Vegas? Okay. I mean, the default ad policy of Twitch that it enforces across the board to everybody already feels viewer hostile. So like, adding on top of that is just a special sum. Suppose maybe it works for people who are like super big, can afford to not care about their viewers much, just care about the dollars. But for me, I've ranted about this before, but I find that Twitch's systems for monetization, if you want to use a bad word, is great. Like, they created the one place on the internet that didn't have to rely on interrupting content with ads. And they're very busy throwing all of that in the garbage can to rely on ads instead. And it makes me so sad. I would prefer that we didn't have ads on this channel, but I don't have much of a choice. All right. Moving on. I love that I can click at the top of my screen on a full screened window and click on the thing behind. So reasonable. Also oxidize and can be waxed and scraped. The Minecraft experts among you might now be objecting that the 6 copper ingots crafting recipe is the one for a copper trapdoor. And you'd be right. That crafting recipe has been changed to 4 copper ingots in a 2x2 pattern in this version, which now gives you 1 trapdoor rather than 2. And lastly, in copper news, lightning rods now oxidize like other copper blocks and can also be waxed and scraped. Let's move on to the shelf. The shelf is a new type of decorative storage block for up to 3 items that can be crafted from all wood types using 6 stripped logs, which gives 6 shelves. Each shelf block can store up to 3 item stacks, which are placed by interacting with that slot, much like with a chiseled bookshelf. This swaps the item in your hand with the item in the shelf. Much like an item frame, shelves display the items they hold, but the shelf holds an entire item stack rather than only a single item in each slot. You can also power a shelf with redstone, which changes its texture and function. Interacting with the powered shelf swaps the 3 rightmost items on your hotbar with those in the shelf. 2 powered shelves can also be connected, and interacting with one of them then replaces the rightmost 6 items with those in the shelves. And 3... What is... Okay, what has happened here? and function. Interacting with the powered shelf swaps the 3 rightmost items on your hotbar with those in the shelf. 2 powered shelves can also be connected, and interacting with one of them then replaces. No, Yusuf, it's also not working. Like, Twitch does, as a public company, publish their financials, right? And they're still making most of their money from bits and subs and stuff like that, the stuff that they built from the start. But ever since they were bought by Amazon, they've been messing up the model and trying to get everything into ads instead. So great. With those in the shelves. And 3 connected powered shelves will swap the entire hotbar. When interacting with powered shelves, it does not matter which hotbar slot is selected or which of the connected shelves is interacted with. You can also place items into a shelf with a hopper or dropper, which places items in from left to will swap the entire hotbar. When interacting with powered shelves, it does not matter which hotbar slot is selected or which of the connected shelves is interacted with. You can also place items into a shelf with a hopper or dropper, which places items in from left to right. And the hoppers can also take items out in the same order. They also provide a take items out in the same order. They also there's a flash there in the video. Like, while it's fading. Oh, it's an overreach on the clip, I think. Okay. I don't like greed. I don't think you're alone in that. Here you go, shelves. Yeah, I would also not put it down to greed. Like, obviously there's a greed component to this, but there's also just some, big exec of Amazon completely fails to understand what makes the business of Twitch work. See you, Endemap. Thanks for hanging out. Like, it's not like this ad thing is like rolling in money for them. If it was like they suddenly make a lot more money, I would understand it, but they don't. It's more like they just don't seem to understand what makes the kind of streaming or like gaming streaming in particular work. But also, I guess, more generically, interactive streaming, small scale streaming, rather than, big sports events streaming was the kind of, or like Netflix streaming. That's the distinction I'm making. Listening while doing something else, I'm actually learning a fair bit about the new features that I didn't know. Hey, there you go then. You still gotta watch the video when it's done. No announcer loves greed to 91%. You can also place items into a shelf with a hopper or dropper, which places items in from left to right. And the hoppers can also take items out in the same order. They also provide a signal value to comparators placed at the back. The strength of the signal is a binary number based on the filling state of the slot, with the left slot being the least significant bit and the right slot being the most significant bit. That is to say, an item in the left slot is worth 1, an item in the middle slot is worth 2, an item in the right slot is worth 4, and the signal strength is all those values added up. The right tool to mine a shelf is an axe, and doing so drops any contained items. The end now has skylight. Normally, things look similar to how they used to, but there are now also random flashes, where the dimension gets flooded with a purple light, a sound plays, and a flash shows in the sky. There is around 30 seconds of delay between flashes, and each flash lasts between 5 and 19 seconds. The flashing of the light from them is controlled by the same accessibility option as the lightning flashes, which is now called hide sky flashes. The texture itself is still visible regardless of the setting, much like the lightning strikes are. The spawn chunks have been entirely removed, and with them the spawn chunk radius game rule. Chunks that load in before the player joins still includes anything loaded by the force load command, and portal loaded chunks, ender pearl chunks, and a small area around the player. When the world is first created, enough chunks to assign the world spawn position are also loaded. This also affects the loading screen, which now shows the chunks the player is about to load into, rather than the chunks around spawn. Some gameplay bugs have also been fixed. Ender pearls now properly load chunks in all dimensions when a player logs in. Chunks loaded by ender pearls now properly keep loading those chunks when you die, with the ender pearls vanish on death game rule set to off. Ender pearls no longer vanish when you leave. Alright, more songs. We have 9 minutes 39 left. So now it's gonna start mattering exactly how long songs we pick. If I pick a 4-minute song, well, let me take that back. There's a sound section near the end, which we probably don't want background music on. So that's 8 minutes. Well, maybe a couple of more or less exactly 4-minute songs are probably good. Hi, Anchor. Dance pop. That sure is a genre. What is so problematic with knowing that when you have somebody singing words, it means lyrics? Instrumentals. God damn it. So many electronic artists have instrumental tracks that are not instrumental. Is this video about pre-release 3? There is no pre-release 3. This video is about the full release. I can't make a video about the pre-release if I don't know what the pre-release contains. I mean, I think this is good. Good enough, at least. 4 minutes 09. Wash Me Away. Okay, that's an interesting title. That's probably good. By Ender Pearls now properly keep low, but there's also no full release. Well, there is source of knowing what it will be in the full release, but there's no source of knowing what will be in the pre-release 3. Well, there is, but that source says nothing. Pearls no longer. The Ender Pearls vanish on death game rule set to off. Ender Pearls no longer vanish when you leave the end for the first time. And the portals now negate fall damage. Shift clicking with a water bucket against a water lockable block will now place the water next to the block instead of inside of it. Touching the bottom of it with the Ender Pearls vanish on death game rule set to off. Ender Pearls no longer vanish when you leave the end for the first time. And the portals now negate fall damage. Shift clicking with a water bucket against a water lockable block will now place the water next to the block. It assumes nothing too interesting gets changed since current pre-release. Well, it's a work in progress, right? Also, if there are significant changes, I'll just have to add them into the video. But that doesn't mean I can. Well, it will be a problem for this part. It will be a problem for the music setting because it will change the length of the video, and that happens regularly. I would say maybe it happens 50% of the time that I need to go and change something. But usually, what happens during pre-releases is bug fixes, and mostly bug fixes of things that are bugs in the snapshots rather than, pre-existing bugs that are relevant to bring up. Against a water-loggable block will now place the water next to the block instead of inside of it. Touching the bottom of a cauldron no longer counts as touching the fluid inside the cauldron. And dragon eggs can no longer teleport themselves outside of the height of the world and disappear. The acceleration power of fireballs and wind charges is no longer halved when they get redirected by an explosion. Projectiles that get redirected by a player-triggered explosion now also count as damage done by that player. And projectiles no longer sometimes lose their ownership when the player that shot them disconnects from a multiplayer server. Players now stop flying when switching from spectator mode to creative mode if they are near the ground, that is, within 1 block of a collidable block. Flight is not disabled if you're inside a block. The ambient lighting on inner faces of entities has been changed to work more like it does for blocks, which means that the underside of flat surfaces will now be lit from that direction instead of from above. This mainly has an effect on flat or hollow parts of entities like worn armor, outer player skin layers, skeleton rib cages, chicken and frog feet, ender dragon and phantom wings, fish fins, and so on. All the die items now have new textures. This is to enhance the visual cohesion across the die set while maintaining distinct shapes. Falling particles now once again appear under unstable sand and gravel. What's with that F? How do you record 2 videos that have the same inputs? Custom mod. We have a specially built mod that does all the camera work for this, but also has an input recording system. Falling. What the heck is wrong with this input? For this recording? That sounds awful. Sounds like noise. Falling particles now. That's better. Maintaining distinct shapes. Falling particles now once again appear under unstable sand and gravel blocks. Water and lava no longer dripped from barrier blocks. And explosions now once again have additional particles, which they haven't had since Minecraft 1.15. Let's talk about new game rules. A number of server options have been removed from the server.properties file and are now game rules instead. That includes PvP, which controls whether players can hit each other. Allow entering Nether using portals controls whether portals can be used to enter the Nether. Spawn monsters controls whether monsters should spawn naturally. Spawner blocks enabled controls whether monster spawner blocks spawn monsters. And command blocks enabled controls whether command blocks should work in the world. The default setting for all the new game rules is true. In mob news, using a monster spawn egg in peaceful mode no longer spawns a monster that immediately vanishes. Instead, the spawn egg now has a tooltip saying it is disabled in peaceful worlds and using it fails entirely. Dolphins and other aquatic animals had started being able to ride boats in recent versions. That is fixed in this one. And sheep now eat twice as frequently again, which they stopped doing 4 years ago when a bug was introduced. Servers can now have a code of conduct. For servers that do, this code of conduct is shown during the loading screen as you join the server, and accepting the code of conduct is required to be able to play on the server. There's a checkbox to not show that code of conduct again, which will remain in effect unless the code of conduct for the server changes. Servers can also have multiple localized versions of the code of conduct for different languages. Let's look at some options news. The F3 screen has been changed and can now be accessed from anywhere in the game, even when menus are open, and displays less information by default. There is a new debug options screen that can be opened by pressing F3 and F5 at the same time, which can be used to configure which debug information should be displayed. Each item can be toggled between never visible, visible when the debug screen is open, or always visible. If the reduced debug info game rule is turned on, some rows on this screen are disabled. Some debug features that were previously available, like chunk border rendering or entity hitbox rendering, can now also be toggled through this screen. This screen now also gives access to some debug tools that were previously not accessible to the community. Interestingly abrupt, but okay. So we should need about 4 minutes here. 3:54. Plus, I suppose, a little bit maybe. 350 something. What do you have, Mr. Dio? Longer would be fine, shorter is not. Unless we skip a part of it. So it would maybe be sail. Yeah, sure. I don't love the start there, but probably make something work. Maybe it's fine. This screen now also gives access to some debug tools that were previously not accessible. Let me do this even. Debug tools that were previously not accessible to the community. They are chunk section octree, chunk section paths, and chunk section visibility. There are 2 presets for the option setup. Default, which resets everything to the default options, and performance, which shows performance metrics and can be used to get information without affecting the game's performance. You can now bind a single key to multiple actions and have all actions take effect. The red warning in the keybind screen is now instead yellow. There's also a new keybind available for the key for selecting on the spectator hotbar. Some accessibility options have also been updated. The auto jump, sneak, and sprint toggle options have been removed from the accessibility settings. Instead, there is now a button leading to the control settings. The attack/destroy and use item/place block keybinds are now toggleable. That is, they can be set to hold or toggle in the control screen. When the sneak option is set to toggle, you can no longer sneak while inside a UI screen. There is now an invert mouse X option in the mouse settings screen, which inverts the horizontal movement of the mouse. And there is now a sprint window option controlling the double taps to sprint functionality. The longer this is set, the longer time is accepted between 2 taps of the forward button to trigger sprinting. Setting it to off disables double tap sprinting. Subtitles are now called closed captions, and the options buttons now has a tooltip. The voice sound category is now labeled narrator/voice rather than voice/speech. In user interface news, chat messages you have started the screen, which inverts the horizontal movement of the mouse. And there is now a sprint window option controlling the double taps to sprint functionality. The longer this is set, the longer time is accepted between 2 taps of the forward button to trigger sprinting. So this is weird. Oh, this is in mouse settings. That's why I'm... Okay, it's fine. The forward button to trigger sprinting. Setting it to off disables double tap sprinting. Subtitles are now called closed captions, and the options buttons now has a tooltip. The voice sound category is now labeled narrator/voice rather than voice/speech. And the options buttons now has a tooltip. The voice sound category is now labeled narrator/voice rather than voice/speech. In user interface news, chat messages you have started writing but not yet sent now get saved as drafts if the chat screen gets removed. This includes if you die while writing the chat message or for another reason have the chat screen removed, but not if you close the chat screen yourself by pressing escape. The draft will then pop back into chat the next time you open it with a grayed out appearance until you restore it or discard it. You can restore it by clicking it, typing more text or using the arrow keys, or send it directly by pressing enter. To discard the draft and start a new chat message, press backspace. This behavior is related to a new option in the chat options menu, which lets you enable saving unsent chat messages by default, which means chat messages get saved even if you manually close the chat by pressing escape. It is now also possible to chat while standing inside a nether portal, and if you get transferred to a new dimension with the chat window open, it will remain open when you arrive in the new dimension. You can now double-click a word in an input box to select it. More text input fields in the game now support clicking and dragging to select text, and the cursor now changes shapes depending on what it is over. An I-beam shape over text inputs, double arrows over sliders and scroll bars, a not allowed sign over disabled elements, and a pointing hand over clickable links. All of these can be turned off using a new option under mouse settings called Allow Cursor Changes. The main menu now has a new background panorama for the upcoming drop, showing copper golem. The upcoming drop. That's not entirely good. A new background panorama for the I mean, I should probably say the Copper Age drop, right? Damn it. I need to re-record this. Good times. All right. Guess it depends on when you're planning on releasing this video. Well, I mean, it depends more when people are likely to see the video, which is probably mostly after the release. Do I ever play the game with friends? Yes, but mostly content creator friends, and it's been a while. All right, let's we're gonna get some music going on the stream music again. There we go. This will be good. We have some noise. Keep my volume up a little bit. The main menu now has a new background panorama for the Copper Age drop, showing copper golems in a village. Alright. Oops. I wish I had discovered that earlier. Trying to find the files. I've got a bazillion different Explorer windows. That was voice 6. Stream music off again. The draft will then pop back. Let's see, where is this? Later. Oops. Not that late. Yeah? Or is it? There it is. The main menu. Pop. Here you go. This instead. Oh, what are you doing? This actually fits. Guess I was speaking a little bit faster this time. It was a longer thing. Mouse settings called Allow Cursor Changes. The main menu now has a new background panorama for the Copper Age drop, showing copper golems in a village. The loading screen now has a progress bar that accounts for all types of chunk loading that need to happen before the game can be started. The statistics screen has been given a makeover and now uses the same type of tabs as the Create World screen instead of buttons. The resource and data pack selection screens now have a search box. And in the sound options menu, changing a slider now plays an example sound after you let go. Closed captions will now show clearly when user interfaces are open. There's also support for a new language in this version, the Helician language. In sound news, happy guests can now be heard from up to 64 blocks away. I think we probably just nuke the music there. In sound news, happy guests can now be heard from up to 64 blocks away. And then maybe we reuse this over here. Perk. They include things, but that's all for this one. Thank you so very much for watching until the end. And I'll see you next time. I would say that that is the proper end of it. YouTube member or patron for some added perks. My name is slicedlime, and I'll see you next time. I do need to work on that outro. That like I can't have my name is slicedlime and then I'm not even on screen. Okay. Search box. And in the sound options menu, changing a slider now plays an example sound after you let go. Closed captions will now show clearly when user interfaces are open. There's also support for a new language in this version, the Helician language. In sound news, happy guests can now be heard from up to 64 blocks away. The sound of riding a happy guest has been increased in volume. The volume of chest sounds have been reduced. And loud sounds like thunder now properly respect the sound source volume slider. Some previously hidden debug features are now available and can be turned on using JVM flags. This is debug code, so it might break, and they're not meant for regular gameplay, but might be useful for modders. This version also brings us minor pack versions together with data pack version 88 and resource pack version 69. Nice! They include things like a new mannequin entity, player heads in text components, and much more. If you want all the details on that, keep your eyes on the channel for another video. But that's all for this one. Thank you so very much for watching until the end. If you'd like to support the stupid amount of hours I put into making these videos, that is as easy as hitting the like and subscribe buttons we YouTubers always nag about down below. Or if you really want to support me, you can become a YouTube member or patron for some added perks. My name is slicedlime, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, that's good. Is that relevant enough to change black? Maybe it's a second revision here. The pack versions could absolutely change, yes. But I mean, so could everything else. There could be some change to copper golems that makes me have to re-record every single clip during the pre-release phase. I mean, yes. They only changed once, right? Especially the minors. But like if something is just like broken and it requires kind of a format change, like I think we've changed pack versions but in the pre-release phase. Is it ideal? No. But if it is like what is required to avoid getting everybody locked into relying on a buggy format, then yes. I think that is good. So this is basically a done video. I could essentially render this. I'm not going to because I still want to tweak a few things and I want to render 20 some minutes video on stream because it's gonna suck for both the stream and the renderer. but it does mean it's pretty much done. So what is that? That is 3.5 hours on stream ish. Let's call it 3.5 hours. That means 7 hours today, 6 yesterday's, and then a little bit more before that. So that's the total time consumption for this video this far, assuming nothing gets changed. There's a fair bit of time, and that is starting from a position where I had a lot recorded, and I had a bunch of clips, and I had like video fragments and script and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. Interesting. So I would expect that the next video, the tech video, takes approximately as long. So that'll be fun. But that is for a different day. All right. So with that, we're just gonna hand over to somebody and call that a wrap. I don't have Minecraft running anymore, so I can't even switch to it. But I guess you get to see how just Twitch looks for me. This is the raid channel button. Load in, please. Who are we raiding? I don't even know. Let's go to Linksy. If it will actually load. Start raid. Thank you, folks. Thank you for hanging out while I do this crazy grind. But I am happy the video is mostly done. That video absolutely 100% just must be out by the time the release happens. The tech video could slide. I don't want it to. But you know, if it happens, it happens. All right. Thank you so much, folks. Hope you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever time it is in your time zone. And I will see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.